And when that is finalized and completed internal review, we'll discuss that with the working group and then get copies of that out. These 4 chapters are really the foundation for the PM10 SIP. And the goal of the PM10 SIP will be the attainment demonstration and the demonstration of the 5% per year reduction until attainment. And at this point, we have not done that analysis because we still need to answer a few outstanding questions on some of the technical issues on the inventory and on the PM10 data. As soon as that is finished, the attainment demonstration and 5% per year demonstration will be finished. I think as I've discussed on previous calls, the PM10 attainment demonstration is going to be a rollback modeling demonstration. And so that'll be rather straightforward once we get all the technical foundation work finalized. The attainment demonstrations will be Chapter 5 of the PM10 SIP. And the next chapter will be the Transportation Conformity Budget. SCAG has, I don't know if Jonathan Nadler's on the phone, but we've been in discussions with SCAG, and the region needs to establish a transportation conformity budget out to their horizon year, which is 2035, and then also milestone years that are interim between the attainment year and that horizon year. So once the technical work is done through the attainment demonstration, we will also then prepare the conformity budgets, and those will be described in Chapter 6 of the SIP. And one of the things I wanted to let you know is I think after this meeting is we'll be able to get out to the technical working group, for those of you who are scribbling furiously, a draft table of contents for the PM10 SIP, and it'll reflect what I'm discussing here on over the phone. The next section of the SIP will talk about some other PM10 related issues that affect Imperial County or may affect Imperial County into the future, but are not known right now because the conditions haven't arisen, and particularly I'm discussing the Salton Sea. And so there will be a chapter that discusses the Salton Sea and what the state and other agencies are projecting to occur in that area, and ways that the APCD will be tracking that information as it may ultimately affect PM10 levels in Imperial County. The SIP will then conclude with a SIP checklist, which will indicate all of the relevant elements that are needed in the PM10 SIP, and basically a handy lookup guide to where those elements can be found in the PM10 SIP. And that there will be a number of technical appendices to support the discussion in the chapters I've just outlined, and so those will also be a part of the PM10 SIP. So that's my status report right now, and I'd be happy to take any questions.
This is Luis from Investigative. What's the projected timeline that we'll see that first draft of the control strategy? We're month 6, so what month are we going to see it?
I think on the control strategy is I think that our hope is to be able to get that out to you. And I need to talk with Brad because we've been wrestling with some technical issues that have thrown off our schedule a little. But I think we would hope to get that to you within the next week, week and a half.
Hopefully by the end of next week. Maybe a little bit more information from the state.
Any other questions on the PM10 SIP? For those of you on the phone?
No, thank you for that. I look forward to seeing the email.
Okay.
I have another Right now, we only have 6 monitors, right? Are they all working?
Yes.
Is there plans for future monitors? The 6 seems, kind of comparing other counties, it seems like small for the size of this area. So based on that, would it affect into the future if more monitors are brought in, whether it's through grants or through other methods of funding more?
Actually, if you look at the National Ambient Air Monitoring plans for all the air districts in California, Imperial County has a higher ratio than most. So we're not, 6 doesn't, as a number doesn't sound like a lot, but per capita, it's very accelerated for such a small population base. So to answer your question, is there going to be any more monitors for the future? The answer to that is yes, and a lot of that is going to be determined by the State Air Resources Board, us, Department of Water, resources in terms of putting a perimeter monitoring system to establish baseline of the Salton Sea area. There's also some discussions from California off-road. The California State Lands is looking into establishing some monitoring networks in the OHV areas as well. And they have contacted the Air Resources Board and the local air district to get their input on any kind of protocols that they would have to meet in order to establish those. So there is work being done towards getting more monitors here, but when exactly that's going to happen is to be determined yet.
And I guess that'll be part of the considerations, right, on exceptional events?
No, that'll be part of probably the considerations now for Salton Sea issues, and there may be a general statement towards that effect that there will be additional monitoring stations established in Imperial County. And it's kind of dependent on these other issues, though. But we actually have, and maybe Dimitri, maybe you have more information than that, but in terms of the National Monitoring Network, we're only required to have, I believe, 3 monitors
For California.
for our size and the per capita that we have, and that doesn't necessarily mean all PM10. That could mean your ozone monitors as well. So we're above and beyond what's even required by federal law.
Based on per capita.
Well, that's one. There's a whole menu of things you have to meet to have a monitoring network established.
You compared our monitoring network with Yuma, for example, the Yuma area. Yuma operated only 1 monitor in the middle of the town of the city of Yuma for a long time, and which just recently, I think it was about 2 years ago, when they installed the traditional one on San Luis, Arizona. So they only operate 2, and you compare the size of the area that Yuma covers, and Imperial County is very similar with the higher population for the Yuma. So
No, and I'm not making
No.
comparisons because I don't know whether they're right or whether we're right.
No. We're just
But
giving you a
I'm
sense.
just kind of establishing Imperial County.
Right.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Comments? Thanks, Julia.
Guys are welcome. I will have to drop off, but Anne-Marie will be on, and so if any questions come up later while people are thinking about it in the working group, we'll take note of it and we'll get the information back to you.
Great, thanks. So for those of you on the phone, hopefully we'll have the draft out, hopefully by tomorrow, the draft table of contents, and then hopefully by the end of the week or Monday, we'll have the first 3 chapters draft available, sent out. Everyone will post them on our website as well. Moving on to the ozone portion of our SIT planning, we're lucky to have Gail here. Thanks for making the trip down. Gail Swigert from ARB and Dimitri, they both came down in person to give us a presentation on transport assessment. So,
Okay, for all of you on the phone, the letter sent you guys a copy of Gail Swiggert's presentation. You'd like to open it on your computers? You can follow? Okay, go ahead.
Well, thanks. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you today about some of the work that we've done kind of in conjunction with the district. And again, my name is Gail Swigert, and I manage the air quality analysis section at the Air Resources